was certainly a good idea for the very early development days of cryptocurrency, but it has not persisted in terms of capturing people, staying on the chain, and being committed to keeping their project there because it just really doesn't make sense to. Think if you were starting a business in the early days, you might get all the help you can get, including launching on a chain like Ethereum. But once you get to a certain level of success, why would you want the Ethereum chain that has a lot of different problems in terms of speed, efficiency, and security? Why would you want that chain to be limiting your overall growth? It's a huge hole in the way the Ethereum entire ecosystem is built out. All these projects who were looked to be kind of the bull case for Ethereum building there are now saying, well, we can just build our own chain. We don't have to necessarily leave ETH in total, but we're certainly not going to be only committed to this one ecosystem. What we are seeing is the XRP ledger that was more specifically built to be a financial network for processing financial transactions has always come to the idea and come to the conclusion that ultimately every chain is going to be highly specialized. A lot of people are going to choose to make their own chain. So rather than everyone building on the XRP ledger, just make the XRP ledger interoperable with everything else. Now, in my opinion, this has always been the correct way to do things, because now Ethereum is just stuck with a whole bunch of bloat, outdated and dying projects. Not every project, some are doing well and some are succeeding, but the truth is Ethereum is already too slow and already too efficient to handle most of the scaling needs that I believe the chain is going to have to compete for the next generation blockchain platform system. I believe the XRP ledger, by not allowing all this bloat to be built on it, by not allowing all these projects to get started on the XRP ledger, ultimately to leave and go somewhere else, put the XRP ledger in a much better position strategically to make sure that it stays at the center of what its core ethos was to be, which would just be a fast, efficient liquidity network in the new digital ecosystem. Ethereum's idea of being this digital app store was great in the developmental stage, was great for the early on and networking and liquidity Kickstarter for all these projects. But if the projects are just going to get to a certain size and then leave, well, where does that leave Ethereum? It kind of just leaves Ethereum as a development platform, a test bed, before projects go on and try something else or build things on their own. In my opinion, that's bearish for how the Ethereum ecosystem is built. And all these different private chains that they might be working with and building for banks, that's great. But why would banks then connect those private chains to Ethereum if it's drastically less efficient than things like the XRP ledger? At the end of the day, you just have to build a better mousetrap.